Hi, class. This is Mrs. Albritton, and we're going to look at the Unit 6 study guide for Algebra 1. This is to help you prepare for the first unit test that we're going to have this year in class. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through problem number 1 since it has 4 parts, A, B, C, and D, for the first video, just to keep it short, and then we will break up the rest of the study guide. If your study guide has any scatter plots problems on it, you don't have to do those. We're going to move scatter plots to unit 1. So to unit 2. So we'll wait on that and we'll fit it in when we do linear equations. Starting with number 1, the table shows the average low temperature in Fahrenheit recorded in Savannah, Georgia and Raleigh, North Carolina over a 6-day period. So A asks us to compare the interquartile range of the temperatures for both cities. As you recall, interquartile range is the difference is subtraction of the third quartile and the first quartile. So in other words, Q3 minus Q1. The quartiles, however, are simply medians. And whenever we work with medians, we know we have to order the data from least to greatest. That means the first thing that you need to do is reorder those temperatures for the 6 days for both cities. So let's start with Savannah. So if we reorder Savannah, we're going to have 81, 81, 82, 83, 86, and 89. When we reorder Raleigh, we'll start with 68 degrees, 69 degrees, 70 degrees, 72 degrees, 74, and 75. So since we need the quartiles, we're going to let's go ahead and put them side by side. So we'll do Savannah and Raleigh. We're going to do Q1, Q2, which is the median of the original list, and Q3. So median means middle. It's going to be the middle number for any list of data points that you have. And keep in mind that if you got an even number of data points in your list, you know you're going to have 2 numbers in the center. What do we do when there's 2 numbers in the center? We add them and we divide by 2. In this case, we've got 6 numbers, 6 temperatures. So the 2 in the middle are 82 and 83 for Savannah. That means that when we add those 2 data points and divide by 2, we will get 82.5. And notice I put it at Q2, not Q1, because this is our original median, which is Q2. We haven't figured out what our Q1, our quartile 1 is. Now let's do the same for Raleigh. Again, we've got 6 temperatures, so there's 2 in the middle. When we add those and divide by 2, we get 71 degrees. So we've got our Q2s, or our medians, in other words, original medians. Now to find our quartile 1, since there's an even amount of numbers here, we've got to literally split the data in half. This will be our lower quartile, and this will be our upper quartile. So now we've got 2 sets of data evenly split. So again, we've got to find median, or middle number. And it's quite easy because now we only have 3 numbers. So what's in the middle here? 81. That means for Savannah, our Q1 is 81. And our Q3 is 86. Let's do the same thing for Raleigh. Split the data down the middle because there's an even amount. Here's your lower quartile where your Q1 is located, your upper quartile where your Q3 will be located. It's only 3 temperatures, so the one in the middle, this will be 69 for our Q1 and 74 for our Q3. So now we have all the information that we need. So let's go back to compare the interquartile range of the temperatures for both cities. And we know that interquartile range that we abbreviate as IQR. So let's start with Savannah. That's the Q3 minus the Q1. And in this case, it will be 86 minus 81 for Savannah. That's 5. The IQR for Raleigh, again, it's going to be whatever the quartile 3 is minus quartile 1. And that will be 74. Take away 69. And again, we have 5. So it seems that they are the same. So when we compare them, they are the same. B, compare the lower quartile of the temperatures for both cities. Lower quartile is Q1, quartile 1. So quartile 1 for Savannah is 81. And the quartile 1 for Raleigh is 69. So when we compare, it says that the lower quartile for Savannah is higher. Part C, compare the mean and median of the temperatures for both cities. Now, we already have the median, so let's start with that. Because remember, the median was the Q2 that we found earlier. So we'll start with the median for Savannah. And that is, let's put Q2 out here so we'll remember. That is 82.5. And we're going to just round this to 83 degrees since it's temperature. The Q2, which is the median of Raleigh, was 71 degrees. So when we compare this, we see that Savannah is higher. Well, let's just see. This Savannah is higher for the median. Let's go ahead and check the mean while we're at it. Mean. We know another word for mean is average. And how do we find average? We add up the total of all of the digits in the list, and then we divide by however many there are in the list. So, for example, Savannah, when I add up all of the temperatures, I get 502. And since there's 6 temperatures, when I divide by 6, I get 83.67. So I'm going to round that to 84 since it's temperature. And again, this was Savannah. When I do the mean, which of course is the average for Raleigh, I get 428. Divide that by 6 because there's also 6 temperatures in Raleigh's list. And I get 71.33, so we'll round it to 71 degrees. This was Raleigh. So we can clearly see that both the mean and the median are higher for Savannah. So we'll say higher for Savannah. And that's how they compare. It sort of makes sense if you think about it because Savannah is in Georgia, and Georgia is usually a little warmer than North Carolina. Okay, let's get letter D. Let's see how we do on there. Okay. So D is asking us to compare the upper quartile of the temperature for both cities. So let's do that. We'll keep the same color. Okay. And we already have that. So there's some good news. The upper quartile is the same as our Q3, our quartile 3. So for Savannah, When I look above, I see the upper quartile for Savannah was 86. And the upper quartile, or Q3, for Raleigh was 74. So again, Savannah has the higher upper quartile. And that's it for number 1, part A, B, C, and D. And I'll see you on the next video for the next problems.